Welcome back, everybody. So, the three of you in the afternoon are pushing out into the early parts of the swamp. You have a guide that leads you to where the men were seen, the mysterious robed figures were seen.
Yep.
Um, and he takes you maybe a half mile in. So,
Well, Khan's going to look for tracks first.
Yeah.
before
If you-
this guy
you
shows
go-
you where to go.
No, he's
Wait,
taking us to the spot where they sighted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Once we're there, I'm going to take a look around to see if I can spot the tracks and maybe follow them. I highly doubt it.
Let me post my spells for the day.
So this yellow dot is where the town is.
Yeah.
And he leads you over here. It's not too far. It's maybe a half mile into the swamp. But like a couple miles away from town. It's along the edge of the swamp. And he leads you to this log that's kind of like sticking out into this watery area. And he points to the log from across the marsh and says, "Well, that's where I saw the two of them, pair of them. They were squatting on that log, looking my direction. I don't know if they had seen me or not, or yet, but they were looking that way. I saw them, and I got the heebie-jeebies, and I just turned around and ran. They most certainly saw me or heard me leaving after that, but they didn't come after me none.
You ever seen
Smart
anyone in the
move.
swamp before?
You mean someone not from Pinecone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not often.
What about buildings in the swamp? Know of anything that might be out there?
Any ruins?
No way. I mean,
You know.
there's no way you could build a building in this. How would you get a foundation? It would all just tip over.
Do you know how old this swamp is?
The hell sort of question's that?
Well, maybe there were ruins or buildings before, and somewhere deep in the swamp there
Oh,
are ruins.
How old are this forest? How the hell would someone know that? Something like that? I ain't no elf.
Well, thanks for your help, anyway.
Fucking might as well ask how old the mountains are. He turns around, starts heading back to town, grumbling about asking the age of the swamp. What a ridiculous question.
Everyone
These
knows it's
people.
6,000 years old.
Man, and you really have to try and be more polite to people. You've really upset that man. I feel awful.
Both Kine and Van have to hold back laughing.
Oh no, Van just laughs immediately.
You see, I turn around. You maybe see my back shiver a bit because I'm trying to hold back my laughter. Okay, I'm. By the way, Sean, no fourth level spell.
Huh? No, I already used one today.
Okay. Which one?
Lower water.
Oh,
That's a 4th level spell.
Yeah. Because you can make a whirlpool with it. Like you can literally
Oh,
drown ships if you use it in the sea.
Okay.
Okay.
So, tracks.
Yeah, I'm going to take a look around. Neil,
Okay.
do you have? I don't think there. Where are the modifiers again?
Player's handbook under tracking.
Let me double check to make sure I didn't actually not burn a 4th level spell.
Negative
Oh, yeah.
plane protection, eh?
Just in case.
Yeah.
You never know when you might run into a wraith, man. I figured
shadow
we're
dragon.
yeah. I'm much more worried about like a wraith or something than I am about a fire breathing creature here.
Yep. I think I can deal with a wraith.
I'm sure I can too. I just don't want to lose a level.
Yeah.
I can't. Neil, do you have the modifiers? Because I can't find them right now.
Yeah, let me look them up.
Come on, you've rolled a couple of ones on tracking before. You can do that again.
Yeah.
Tracking. Table 39.
It's not bad.
So.
Neil, don't look at the roll, Neil. Oh, he's looking, he's going to be like, oh, look, you needed exactly...
Yeah, you needed a 7.
Let's see. Every 2 creatures in the group. Every 12 hours since the trail was made. Okay.
Soft ground.
Right, soft or muddy ground.
I don't know if swamp counts as muddy ground because it is water.
Don't argue against
no,
yourself.
because like I feel like a lot of it isn't standing water. Like there's always areas of
yeah.
land in a swamp, but it will be soft and muddy.
If there's not soft and muddy ground in a swamp, where is there?
Yeah.
What is your wisdom?
15.
15
Oh, my
now.
tracking skill is 15 because it's wisdom, and I get a +1 for my ranger level.
Isn't tracking wisdom minus something?
There's
Yeah,
no proficiencies though.
Yeah, I need.
Right. Oh no, it's the flat wisdom. Okay, and you get +1
Yeah,
for your
flat-
ranger level.
Yeah.
Coolio.
So 15.
Yeah, you look around, and it takes a little while, maybe 15 minutes of scouting out the area. When you find, not at the back of the log, because the log just kind of is in water on both sides, but a little bit further, you find some prints, and it looks like there's prints heading in this direction, and then there's also prints heading out of this direction.
All right.
They look roughly the same size.
So, one track is leading into the swamp, further into the swamp.
I mean, they're very close. In fact, in some places, the prints are overlapping each other. It looks like some people came here and then left back in the same path.
Yeah, they seem to take a same specific path.
Is there a path leading further in?
Well,
Yes.
yeah,
I'm asking Kine.
kinda. O'Neill,
Can you?
in which direction is the track going?
Well, it's going in two directions, but kind of along that path. Right?
All right.
It's not going like into the swamp. It's kind of skirting the edge of the swamp.
Okay.
Let's. Should we follow it then?
Probably.
Well, for a few hours at least.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
we
that's
see it.
good.
Well,
Dan, can you maybe? We should some sort of signpost or something so we can find the track again if we lose it, at least here.
Sure. Is there like a tree right next to us, Neil?
Yes.
Malachi, can I borrow a dagger?
Hand
Uh,
you my dagger.
Then we'll carve out like here or something in Dwarven on a tree trunk.
Okay.
That's funny because that's actually more in Stagger, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He lent it to
You
me.
looted his dagger?
No, he lent it to me.
Oh, he just never got it back.
Wait, Malachi, do you not still have a dagger from me?
Is this your dagger? Maybe it's your dagger.
I think. Let me have a look at it. Yeah, it is. What for?
Ah, well, here's me thinking more and did something useful.
I'm so sorry, Max. If you're out there.
Oh, man.
Actually, I
Okay,
haven't-
I'm going to punch Malachi.
Are you trying to do
Too
damage
hard.
or? Okay.
Not too hard, no. Just
On the arm.
Yeah.
on the yeah.
I'll take it on the shoulder.
Slug
That's
bugs
fine.
him. Yeah.
You hit me in the face, though.
All right.
Is Malachi like wrecking? Ah!
All right, we follow the tracks. Why
Okay.
have they hit me so hard?
The tracks are hard to follow. They kind of dip into the water in some areas, and then Kine's got to look around for like 15 minutes on all the sides before he picks them up again. And so that happens very frequently. And you guys it's starting to get late. You've gone maybe a mile or so. It's been skirting the edge the whole time, kind of like that. But the sun is starting to get lower and lower in the sky.
Couldn't we just keep going and camp in the Ashlands? Not the Ashlands, the Tether Wilds.
It's not really a good place to camp.
I think we should. I'd rather we go back into the Tether Wilds than just use that, like walk along between the two to go back to town for the night.
Well, I just think maybe we camp out on the. We could lose the tracks tomorrow, couldn't we?
If you have to leave and come back in, it'd be another 12 hours since the tracks came.
I mean, either way, we have to leave this spot. I'm not camping in this swamp.
Yeah, but I say rather than leave now so we get back to town, why don't we keep going until it gets dark and then just veer out into the Tether Wilds and camp there?
But either way, we would lose the tracks.
Yeah, but if we can follow them for another 3 or 4 hours, we might get to where they're going.
What do you think, Kine?
I mean, if it's getting dark, it will only get become very difficult to find the tracks.
Well, we've got light. How many hours of light left?
Malachi also has that stone that you can borrow.
Just a few.
I mean, it is. You said the swamp is very dangerous, and we have a light source that points out, shows everything.
I think what Malachi is suggesting is that you track before it gets dark, and that we'll keep going until it does get dark.
And then we'll leave and camp in the Tether Wilds.
Because if we want to make it back to town before nightfall, we'd have to turn back now. But we could go for another hour or two, then just veer off into the Tether Wilds for the night.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we should give up this opportunity.
Yeah, I think finding these tracks is lucky enough.
Very well.
All right.
You guys stop for the day?
No, we keep going.
You keep going. Okay.
Yeah.
Until it's dark.
Yeah.
Until the sun sets, and then we're going to head off into the Tether Wilds.
Well, conveniently enough, the tracks actually begin to leave the swamp, heading out almost due west after a certain point. And as the sun sets, you guys find yourselves out of the swamp, kind of in the maybe 300 or 400 feet out from the last sight of water. The tracks get much harder to follow out here, and as the sunlight is fading, Kine begins to lose the tracks in the darkness of the forest.
Yeah, I was.
Malachi, can you grab your stone?
Mm-hmm. Sure. I'll illuminate the light area.
Sure you don't want to rest.
If we're leaving the swamp, I think we can keep going a little bit.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. Do you still have one of those blankets on you, Malachi? I don't have them anymore.
Yes.
All right. Van's gonna grab the blanket too and cover the top half of the stone so light only goes down onto the ground. So Kine can continue to follow the tracks, but it doesn't go up as a beacon outward.
Probably just hold it in your hand like this.
That'd work too.
Well, I mean, you're still going to shine light on the ground, which will bounce off towards other things. You may not be shining up, but...
we're trying to, wrap it up so it's more like a flashlight, so it's not, going out in all directions.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, you do have to keep an eye out for any trouble, especially out here.
Sure, I was just...
We're changing locations fairly significantly, so you're going to need to make another tracking check. It's still been 24 hours since the trail was made. There's 2 creatures in the group, so that's a -1, and then occasional signs of passage will do...
No, there's no signs of passage here, surely.
It is the Tether Wilds.
It's the Tether Wilds, but there's still kind of, there's grass, there's some trees and some brush, so they're... So we're going to say a +1 total to your
it doesn't...
Underbrush makes it easier to track things.
So soft muddy ground is a bonus of 4. Occasional signs of passage is +2. So a +2 for the terrain, a -2 for the time, and a +1 for the creatures in the group. So you have a bonus of 1 to your tracking check.
I think he passed. Yeah.
Okay. So I have a 13 instead of a 14.
Okay. You continue following as the tracks lead kind of around the swamp. How long into the night are you going to do this?
I mean, these two are driving me to trek further. I just hope they keep a steady eye out for any danger.
Yeah, that's the question. Will you follow these tracks until the sun comes up, or are you just going to go a few hours into the night? What is your condition for stopping?
A little ways into the night. I don't want to go all night. I want to go maybe a little bit after nightfall, but maybe stop an hour after the sun's fully set.
If the tracks ever look like they're going back into the swamp, we'll stop.
Okay. They skirt the edge of the swamp, and you go a couple hours after the sun sets, and we're gonna just say you're roughly near this tree when it's been maybe 2 hours since the sun went down.
Okay, so Van's gonna use that dagger that he borrowed from Malachi to carve another piece of writing into the tree trunk, and then.
Yeah. Should we walk out for an hour into the...
I don't know about a full hour. Maybe just 10 minutes into the Tether Wilds, then camp for the night.
Okay, yeah.
And we'll walk into the Tether Wilds a little bit and look for some form of shelter. Tall grasses, like a small cave or anything, really.
Well, we were just by a tree. How big is that tree, Neil?
Yeah, but we don't want to camp right on the edge of the swamp.
Well, I mean, it's a tree on the map, but there's trees all around the edge of the swamp.
Yeah.
So the further you go from the swamp, the thinner the trees get until you end up in the treeless Tether Wilds.
We don't want to be in an area without any cover.
I'd rather be in the Tether Wilds than with my back to the swamp, though.
Yeah.
Hey, did you hear that? Sound like wolves.
I think wolves are the least of our worries.
Agreed.
There's giants in this place, you know.
I know we killed one.
Yeah. Well,
Don't make me any more confident.
can we see the Shadow Mountains in the distance now?
Not at nighttime.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So I think we just. Is there any sort of like cave or some like we'll just go like 10, 20 minutes walking into the Tether Wilds away from the swamp.
There's
And
no
we'll look
cave.
for some form of like cover that we can use for a camp.
No,
Thick
once you
grass,
leave the
anything.
trees, then it's just open plains with no cover. There's
You-
some hills, some gentle hills, but
I remember you mentioned that the Tether Wilds has like really thick areas of grass, like really like tall grasses.
Yeah.
Are we anywhere near that?
yeah, the grass is thigh high here.
Okay, that's
You lay
good.
down, you probably wouldn't be seen by anything.
All right. Yeah, that's fine. So I guess we'll just make camp for the night.
Keep watches though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, what are your watches?
Van is going to cast Nap on himself, and then
So-
he'll keep watch for the rest of
Didn't
the night after
you nap?
that. Last night.
That's true.
But it's
That was
not been-
last night around
not-
2 a.m. and you.
Oh yeah, it is about 2 a.m.
Yes, that's been more than 24 hours.
It's
More than
18
18
hours.
hours. So yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I'll take Kind, do you want to take the first watch, and then I'll take over.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go to sleep then.
Okay. You guys go to sleep.
Yeah, it's only 1 hour for me, by the way, for the nap.
Okay. It's. These things do not have the tools. So you're out in the Tether Wilds
Yeah.
late at night.
Yeah.
Kind, you take your shift. After about an hour or so, Van Helsing wakes up and goes to take the rest of the shift. You guys can double up for a while or whatever. It doesn't, doesn't matter. But eventually, you go to bed. Van Helsing, you're hanging out, just kind of listening to the wind blow through the grass. When you hear this very loud, well, it starts soft, but then grows. The sound of the unmistakable sound of a sturge. You're very familiar with the loud of these awful creatures, and the sound begins to get louder and louder.
All right. Van is going to wake the others up.
Well, I think we hear it straight away, right?
Oh yeah.
I had.
Malachi, do you have a torch? Kine, do you?
I stand up and pull out the stone and look for them, unless Van already has it.
I probably have it, but like, do either of you? Can you make fire? A torch?
I'm about to fireball these things if I can see them in a group together. So
Van holds the stone up to see if they're within 60 feet.
The light shines all across the plain. You don't see them within 60 feet anywhere.
Would
You
we
can
have like
hear
dim
them.
lighting past the 60 feet? Like it'd be dimmer, but
Yeah.
you know, like okay.
So can we see them? We can
Nope.
hear them, right? So we know where they're coming from.
Yeah, they're kind of sort of coming from. They're definitely not coming from the south. That's for sure. They're somewhere northish, maybe. You know how it is when you're hearing this buzzing sound or some sort of noise. Like where the? I gotta like walk around. It's getting louder, quieter.
Yeah.
All right, so we keep an eye out though.
Yeah.
Okay. Soon enough, you do see them approaching. A whole
Excellent.
swarm of them, maybe 6 or 8 of them, all kind of closely cluttered together in a little ball. They seem to be making a beeline for your light.
Excellent.
I will be fireballing them if I can, Neil. Or are you going to make us roll initiative? I mean, we were looking for them.
Yeah.
You were looking for them, but they don't show up until your sight range, until they're close enough that you're going to need to make an initiative roll.
Okay.
All right,
That's fine.
who's rolling it?
I'll do it.
All right.
Got the light. 2.
Oh yeah.
Hey, you guys definitely go first. Malachi, you're throwing a fireball at these sturges?
Yeah, they're in the air, right? It's not going to
they're-
set the whole desert on fire.
I mean, they're like, maybe 10 feet above the grass.
He could center it above them, right, so that it doesn't go all the way down to the ground.
Sure.
Yeah, and it's been raining, right? So I'll do that then. I try and blast all of them. Let them all fly off in different directions on fire until they vaporize. It's quite a beautiful
Okay.
sight, I imagine.
Why don't you roll me 7d6 for damage?
Oh yeah, you do an extra d6 now.
I will indeed.
Yeah, does he really have to roll first?
I just want to see
21.
flaming sturge bits kind of fall all over the place into the grass. And the flaming sturge bits cause the grass to roll a saving throw versus fire.
Well,
Good job on not blowing up the fire yourself. That would have definitely caused something. Now they just get a saving throw.
Malachi, the great mosquito exterminator.
That's right. Don't you forget it.
Yeah.
You woke me up for this, right? I'm going back to sleep.
Malachi is. It looks like the grass is.
Van's gonna run over. If it looks like I see glowing coming from the grass, right?
Yeah, so the sturges fall and you're like, yeah, that was great. And then there's kind of
over and start like stomping. Yeah, I'm gonna try and like start stomping on these fires.
Following him.
All right, it almost passed its save, so you guys are able to put out the fire before it spreads throughout the rest of the Tether Wilds and burns you to death.
Good job, guys. All right, everyone else there uses. Go back to sleep.
Everyone else goes back to sleep.
Van keeps watch, I guess.
The rest of the night passes uneventfully.
All right, new spells.
You guys.
Let me put my new spells up.
This fucking clairaudience is pissing me off. Where could we cast?
We could use it.
Where could we use it?
We could have
Yeah,
clairaudience the cave.
Yeah, can I clairaudience the cave?
The cave in the Shadow Mountains?
Yeah.
The one that we saw.
Is it in the Shadow Mountains?
Well, that's what you guys have been talking about. So
Yeah,
I'm reaffirming what your characters are believing, even if it's not
Good save,
true.
Neil.
Yeah, if you want to cast a spell and burn your horn and everything, you can clairaudience wherever you want.
Fuck it. Yeah, because I haven't actually been there, but I've seen it through the pool. Is that enough? I think we determined it
enough.
was.
That's definitely enough.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Whoa.
I'll do it first thing in the morning.
Clairaudience. Clairaudience spell enables the wizard to concentrate on some locale and hear in his mind any noise within a 60-foot radius of the spell's casting point. Distance is not a factor, but the locale must be known. A place familiar to the spellcaster, or an obvious one, such as behind the door, around the corner, in a copse of trees, etc. Only the sounds that are normally detectable by the wizard can be heard by use of this spell. Lead sheeting and magical protections prevent the operations. The wizard has some indication that the spell has been blocked.
It should be familiar. I think Malachi even tried to discern what kind of bones were on this pyre, so he must have studied this image pretty closely.
Yeah.
Right. Let me just take a quick look here at page 190 of the player's handbook, where the spell is located.
So what kind of sounds do shadow dragons do, Neil?
I guess we're about to find out.
No idea what sort of sound a shadow dragon makes. I love how you guys are so 100% sure that it's a shadow dragon without having seen any evidence of it.
The amount of time I've spent not working based on Shadow Dragon, it better be.
I'm not 100% sure, but it's true that all the clues are pointing towards it.
It is.
I mean, no other creature has the ability to cast darkness on this big an area.
There's even out of game clues like when, well, it's a spoiler for Dicing with Death, like really close to the beginning of it, when he meets the wizard out in the Shadow Mountains. He says something like, "There's a shadow that haunts these mountains," or something like that.
Yes, there's a shadow that haunts the Shadow Mountains.
And shadow dragons look like a shadow
When they fly. But we don't know that in game.
Yeah, we don't know it.
Yeah.
Maybe Malachi has knowledge of that these creatures exist, but
Maybe.
yeah. Oh, shadow monsters, yeah.
1 second.
I tell you, we spent most of the time in Hardcore Heroes set talking about how to kill that thing, so...
Okay, so you cast clairaudience into this shadowy cave that you saw
Yeah.
before, and kind of all the sounds of the plains around you, the wind blowing through the grasses, disappears. Instead, the sounds of dripping water kind of slowly come into view, or not come to view, but audibly come into your range.
Well, how long does it last? Audience.
Clairaudience lasts 1 round per level.
7 rounds, okay.
Might hear something.
Yeah.
Might hear, I am a shadow dragon.
Malachi, I have an offer for you.
That would be scary.
Oh, Jesus.
Sorry, Neil, go on.
It's quiet. There's this sound of dripping water. But there's also kind of like this inconsistent rumble. You'll hear kind of like a rumbling, and then it'll just kind of fade away. It sounds maybe distant or low somehow.
Does it remind me of the rumbling that we heard when we were in the Goblin Woods? We had some rumbling when we were like walking through the Goblin Woods.
That was the owlbear, wasn't it?
No, before
No,
that.
that was. I think that were the goblins marching, because
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Does it sound like a does it sound like a beating sound, or does it sound like a sound that's consistently there?
does it sound like a big creature
Breathing. Yeah.
because that's what everyone is afraid of.
Oh.
No, it doesn't. It's inconsistent. It's not. If it's breathing, it's some sort of weird breathing.
Okay.
And it's kind of too low to be breathing. It definitely sounds more akin to rumbling. And you're listening for a few moments when I need you to make me a saving throw versus spell.
Okay.
And then Malachi. Fire shoots out of Malachi's horn.
Pass.
Oh, good.
Pass.
You only take 25 damage instead of 50.
Okay.
Loads.
So what happens?
Nothing. You passed your saving throw.
Okay.
But you definitely feel a presence and probing into your mind.
What kind of presence?
Nothing more than that. You fend it off, and you can't tell anything else about it. But there was, as you're listening, you can kind of feel something, maybe listening back.
Do I hear anything else for the rest of the 5 minutes or whatever?
Yeah, you hear the sound of scraping, long, slow scraping,
Like something scraping rock.
like someone dragging a rock along a rock floor, maybe something like that.
A sword against a rock or something.
A sword's a little high pitched, I think. This is like a low scraping.
Maybe
What
something
about-
with very big, scaly feet and claws. Dragging
Maybe. I don't know
Okay.
if you guys know what that would sound like, but
So rock scraping. Yeah. Does that carry on?
it's like one long motion or sound for maybe 30 seconds, and then it stops. And then it's just kind of silence and water dripping.
For the rest of the time.
Yeah.
That sounds right now nearly.
Okay. So my eyes roll back to the front of my head. Startled. I look around, see if anyone else is watching me.
Oh yeah,
The
Van.
other two are
walked the whole time.
staring intently at
Yeah.
you.
Probably saw him have like a mini seizure when he passed his spell save.
Whatever's in there knew I was watching.
What did you hear?
Some rumbling sound, rock scraping on rock, dripping water. I didn't hear the breath of any dragons.
Maybe we should do some research in Shirebrook, or maybe we could go up to Stromheim, find a library there, and read about some creatures.
Let's stick to the matter at hand for now, as I open my spellbooks and try and replace Cloud.
Right.
It is just an old man scraping a rock against the cave. It's proven!
So, you guys are out here in the Tether Wilds. It's a new day. I'm going to need you to make another tracking check. This time another 12 hours has passed, so it's going to be at no bonus. It's going to be...
Ooh, nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Kine, your tracking is saving the day.
I don't think he's ever failed a tracking check.
Kine, what do your human eyes see?
You head back to the edge of the swamp and follow along. And you guys head along the edge, kind of just skirting the outside. You realize that this is definitely becoming the area that the knight warned you was Moldman territory.
Excellent.
Also, we
I'm
are
not
moving
prepared for
towards...
that.
What's the deal with Moldman?
They shoot spores, and the spores will kill you.
That sounds about like everything else in the world.
Malachi, a breeze could kill you.
I don't think so.
Depends on the breeze.
And after many hours of walking, right? How far is this distance? After like 10 miles, which I guess you do in 3 hours or so.
We're getting pretty close to Thornwood.
The swamp kind of curving and the tracks still following the edge of the swamp, heading back up towards the Thornwood Forest.
I guess we keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems they were coming from Thornwood, or at least the Thornwood Forest.
I mean, it has to be them. Who else would walk through the wilderness like this? Nobody would not just take the road.
Exactly.
That explains they didn't go through the swamp. Probably too dangerous for them too.
They probably just didn't want to approach the village via
Also,
the
just be random travelers who were going up to fucking Thornwood.
Taking the scenic route.
It's like, my wife and I just don't enjoy taking the road routes. It just, you don't get the feel of nature and the danger of Moldmen breathing down your back.
Instead, just sucking your blood at night.
Yeah. It's way more fun to just...
I mean...
You get all the way up to the Swamp Wash River. On the north side of the Swamp Wash, though, where it's really the Misty River after it's converged with the, I can't remember the other one's name, river.
Can you ping where we are?
Yeah. I'm just trying to get some river names. You guys come to very close to this spot here.
Okay.
Okay.
The Rushing River and the Misty River, they meet at the base of Thornwood, and they come down here, right? Clearly there's a river on the map. And it's after the swamp that it becomes known as the Swamp Wash. No one really talks about this section of river, but it could be the pre-Swamp Wash or the Misty Rivers after they merge. Anyway, you can see that coming up in the distance. You can kind of see the land sloping and hear the sound of a river. A slow river, really. When the tracks suddenly veer back in towards the swamp at the north end.
I guess that makes sense. Go around the swamp, then hit in from the north.
Yeah.
Seems like maybe they've camped somewhere along the river.
It's got to be close to here, otherwise we would have turned back into the swamp earlier on.
That's true. Hopefully we find the tower before we find Moldmen.
Yes.
If it is the tower.
I'm sure if this route is travelled often, then the Moldmen perhaps stay away from here. Look, anyway, let's go.
Keep an eye out.
Yeah, I haven't spent the whole day tracking through this this swamp.
Okay.
Turn back now.
Agreed.
It's getting pretty marshy and pretty wet. It's been 4 hours since you guys woke up and memorized your spells and started hiking and everything. and you guys are stepping into.
I do still have that big stick that I'm using to like probe the water in front of us to make sure that we don't like suddenly step into a big pit.
You get maybe a half-mile into the swamp when the tracks just go into some watery area. As per usual, Malachi and Van hang back. Kine goes on to the other side of the watery area to see where the tracks lead. And this watery area is fairly wide. I'm sorry, fairly long and not that wide. So it's kind of more of like a waterway, and the tracks lead into it, and then Kine starts searching the edges of the waterway, and you get about maybe 100 feet in all directions, and you can't find tracks exiting it. It looks like either the tracks have just vanished into here, or they step into the waterway and head down the waterway.
I give both a meaningful look. Well, if it is this, then it's not a tower. Would explain the wet floor.
Let's just have a look around here. Maybe there's some sort of switch to reveal a hidden entrance or something.
Let's travel down the waterway. I have this stick for when we go down it. I can notice if I hit anything that looks like a secret hatch, we'll know.
Well, I'd just do it. Is there any like trees right near here, or any logs or suspicious-looking stones or anything like that? I'll just do a quick glance around.
There's all sorts of sketchy-looking stones everywhere. What are they up to?
I'm just gonna do a quick round the edge of the water and look for any like switches or anything like that.
Are any of them shaped like a penis?
There is a penis-shaped tree in the woods.
Or like any markings on the trees, like maybe they've marked it like this is the bit where you.
Why don't you all give me wisdom checks?
Yes.
Towards Van, can you not part the water again?
Not today.
Pass.
Pass.
All right.
Same.
You guys don't find any markings.
All right. Let's head down the water then, I guess.
So you're all gonna walk into the waterway and walk into the swamp?
I guess we could go along the side of it.
Yeah, can we not? Yeah, can we go along the
Yeah,
side?
but you're gonna have to pick to be on the north side or the south side.
I mean, we could just go through if these people did. No reason we can't. We have a stick.
Maybe they had a boat.
We have a stick.
Maybe they had a canoe though.
Wait, how deep is it? Is what I'm looking for.
So you put your stick out there, and it feels like it's going up to your knee height, at least within range of your stick.
If we were to walk along the edges, would we still be like? I could still tap into the water, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Then let's just
the
go along
waterway's
the
maybe
edge.
like 200 feet across. So
Yeah, let's just go along the right.
It's a pretty wide area, but you can still see the other side, and there's crap in the middle of it. There'll be like a dry spot here, some trees here, or whatnot.
If it goes to one's knees, a longbow arrow is pretty long, right? It is higher than this water. If I would stick it in the water, would it still point out, or would it still be visible?
I don't. Let's see. The longbow is at most 3 feet long, so it would come up kind of high. It would come up to your thigh. There are areas where you could stick it where it would come out. Who knows what the middle of this waterway looks like?
Exactly. I will try to fire an arrow not into the middle, but out of reach of Van's stick to see how.
Well, if you fire an arrow, it's going to come in at an angle. It's not like going to stick straight down.
Right.
Let's walk along the right side. We can tap our way through.
Abandon the idea.
North side or south side?
The same side we started on, right?
Yeah.
That'll be the south side.
Yeah.
I mean, it is only knee. Do you want to just walk through it? It is only knee high. It might get deeper, but we could always just turn back if it does.
I have things I'd rather not get wet.
Sure.
Okay.
So
You
we'll
guys
walk.
make your way along the edge. Can I get wisdom checks at -4 for everybody, please?
So +4.
Yeah, penalty of 4.
Yeah.
Fail.
No.
Nick, you gotta pass this. Oh my god.
Beautiful. Okay. You guys walk along this waterway, picking your... Ooh, I changed the music back. Picking through the mucky swamp. The sounds of flies or just insects in general starts to grow to a fairly loud din. There's the occasional burbling as you see bubbles kind of appear in the middle of the swamp, which is standard. You've been seeing that all along. There's the occasional creaking of a tree somewhere. You can really only see this open waterway, and then the forest beyond, and the area where you are is just kind of wooded as well. So your view is fairly limited, except for what's in the waterway itself. Is there anything in particular you guys are doing?
Well, we're keeping a lookout for if we see the tracks restart, and we're looking for a building.
Yeah. And especially looking out for any danger. Because we are in a pretty dangerous area.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, any hydras, keep an eye out for them.
Moldmen.
I think we would hear Hydra before we would see it even.
Probably.
What was that monster movie in New York a few years ago?
Cloverfield. Cloverland.
Yeah, haven't you seen Cloverfield? A monster can just sneak up on you, no matter its size. You won't hear it coming.
Yeah, no, not at all. You need night vision cameras. That's how you survive the night.
Yeah.
It's a hydra, but it's a rogue. It's got thief holes. Move silently.
Okay.
I almost took water walking today, but I decided not to because I was like, oh, it's going off into the Tether Wilds.
You should have taken here part water, low water again.
Nah. Because it only works in a small area. It wouldn't have gotten us down this whole thing.
What do you have now as a fourth?
Neutralize poison.
It's a good one to have. How does the Moldman kill you, by the way, I ask as we're walking?
Well, that's a very good question. You guys are moving along the edge when a movement in the water draws your eye, and you see a small cluster of diminutive gray creatures with this long, kind of weird, thick fur hanging off of them.
Back up. Back up.
They've got ponytails that come off the top. I guess it's a top knot that kind of like hangs down. I'm just going to show y'all a picture of them.
Yeah. I don't know if they're hostile or not. Stay back and give them a berth. See if they come toward us.
There was a small cluster, and they have their spears kind of in hand looking at you as you guys look at them.
All right. We just kind of...
Back up. Back off.
Yeah.
Yeah, we back up a little bit and see what they do.
Okay. They start tapping on their... One of them starts tapping on his chest.
I will take my shield and clang my sword against it. To maybe scare them off a bit.
How many are there now?
Well, some of them are hidden in some foliage, so you can see 4 for certain, but they're pretty small, and there's a lot of cover out in this little swampish island that they're on.
Are they like ambushing us, or are they spread out, or are they all sort of near each other?
You see a cluster of 3 or 4 in this one spot. You're scanning the area, and you don't see any others, but if it was an ambush, you wouldn't see them anyway.
Yeah, and while clanging my sword against my shield, I will grumble a few words in Giant.
What words do you say?
Back off, little people. We are no threat to you. I don't think I can understand Giant. Just the language probably sounds intimidating, so...
Right.
Does he speak Moldman?
No.
I don't know. It sounds... I mean, it could be.
You heard it before. I spoke Giant before, so...
One tapping his chest suddenly changes the beat. Instead of like a solid standard beat, it changes to a more complicated rhythm. I don't think any of you guys have a musical proficiency or musically talented, so it's just an odd rhythm that comes out, and the Moldmen spring up and start dashing towards you. Some of them running through this water. Yep. Some of them beginning to prepare spears to throw. However, we are at our break.
Oh.
So when we come back from break, we'll roll initiative and see how the Moldmen kill you.
All right.
Whoa.